The next chapter is about to begin. Join us live every Tuesday and Thursday for brand new episodes of the American Contractor Show. Our mission is to bring you the latest tools, innovations, and knowledge to help you become the most informed contractor in your market. Knowledge is the ultimate power, and we are connecting you with the most knowledgeable minds in our industry. Make sure to subscribe so you never miss an episode. American Contractors, I hope you're ready. This one's for you.
This is Larry Bache with the Merlin Law Group, helping policyholders for more than 30 years. If you have a claim or your client has a claim that needs help, please feel free to call the Merlin Law Group because we are the true policyholder advocate.
C3 was eager to help us, and even whenever we weren't giving them work, they were still eager to give advice. The things that they were putting out for the for changing from DMO to RFG and giving that to the industry and not charging anything for it, I thought was really cool. And that's stuff that I, as a contractor, appreciate. I'd recommend C3 to any contractor who's looking for a PA, especially if you're around Colorado. Great guys, man. I'm nothing but happy with the work they've done for us.
Happy Tuesday, everybody. I am meteorologist Andrea Myers. Please take a second to check out our awesome sponsors, Art of the Supplement, C3 Group, and Merlin Law Group. If you have not already, they're also linked on this video if you want to go check out their Facebook page. They're awesome. Thank you to them for all that they do. And with that, let's just get started into today's weather headlines. So for today, we're going to have hail and wind risks through New England, as well as a few other risk areas, so stay tuned for today's forecast. And then into tomorrow, we are also looking at plenty of hail chances through much of the northern states. So we'll talk about today and tomorrow's severe weather chances, and then as usual, we're going to keep you guys updated on what is now Hurricane Laura, making its way towards the Gulf states. So we're going to talk a little bit about what that's going to look like, what risks that's going to bring with it, and the timing for when that's going to arrive. So let's get started with our forecast for today. So looking at our hail risks, we've got low-end hail chances through North Dakota, parts of South Dakota, as well as Minnesota and Wisconsin. Gosh, you guys. And then also through the northeastern states, we're going to see low-end chances of hail in the quarter to $half sized range, with a few of the storms pushing their way through there. So our north central plains storms are probably going to be few and far between as they continue into today. We've already seen some storms through that area this morning. However, as those continue to push on through this afternoon and this evening, storm coverage should be more widespread. So we might see less widespread chances of quarter to $half sized hail through the north central plains. However, we're going to have much wider coverage of storms through the northeastern states here. So we'll take a look at that in a moment, and we'll have a greater chance for hail through that region. We also have widespread wind chances into today, starting with the same risk areas here through the north central plains as those storms continue pushing through from this morning, as well as the northeastern states. We actually have a pretty good chance here in the Virginia and Pennsylvania, Maryland area of seeing some gusty, severe winds, possible damaging winds through the coastal northeastern states. And then all the way up into New England, we could see a moderate chance of severe winds. And then finally into Idaho and Arizona, we could see a couple of severe storms. There's going to be more scattered storms pushing through that area this afternoon. And with some of those, we could see some damaging winds as well. So let's take a look at that here on our our future radar. So like I said, these storms through the north central plains are going to be few and far between into this afternoon. However, they already have been rolling this morning. So if you are in the north central plains, you've already had some hail this morning to go check out. However, you might still have a chance for some quarters to $half sized hail as a few of those storms strengthen this afternoon. Then into the New England states, like I said, much more widespread through New England as we have a front pushing its way off of the coast, and as it does, it's going to lift up those storms, bring some gusty winds, as well as a chance for some quarter to $half sized hail, maybe even larger with a couple of those storms that really get rolling, but we're going to see that risk for gusty winds as well as severe hail through much of New England as well as the Northeast later this afternoon into the evening hours. Then through the desert Southwest area, mostly Arizona, we are looking at these pop-up showers this afternoon and evening, producing some gusty winds. Not really much of a chance for hail just because it's so dry out there, but we could see a few of these storms producing severe winds as they get rolling this afternoon into later this evening. And then finally into Oregon, Idaho, and Montana. More storm coverage through that area, as you can see there, pushing their way northeast into the evening and overnight hours, producing some damaging wind gusts, as well as possibly some smaller hail, probably not anything severe with these storms pushing through, mostly a gusty wind threat through the northwestern states into today. So for today, New England is really our place to watch, New England and the northeastern states. However, we also have these wind risks through the north central plains as well as Idaho and Arizona. And then into tomorrow. Very broad hail chances across much of the north, all the way from Idaho into West Virginia. We are going to see a pretty tight pressure gradient, which basically just means we could see some storms forming anywhere through these northern states, producing quarter to $half sized hail anywhere in that risk area. We're also going to expect gusty winds through this region, as well as down through Texas and Louisiana, where we're going to see Hurricane Laura. We'll check that out in a second. So let's take a look first at our future radar, as usual. So here are our storms forming through Idaho, pushing their way northeast into the afternoon and evening hours tomorrow, producing possibly some quarter to $half sized hail, as well as gusty winds tomorrow evening into the overnight hours. Then through the north central plains, once again, better chance here for seeing some quarter to $half sized hail in the evening. So we will have those storms popping up through Montana, pushing their way eastward into the Dakotas, and then some separate storms popping up here in Minnesota as well as the eastern part of the Dakotas. And as those push eastward, we could see some quarter to $half sized hail along with them and some severe winds as well. And then finally, into the Midwest, we have our storms forming very early in the morning. So in the overnight hours of tonight, we're going to have some storms pushing across Wisconsin, Michigan, and into the Midwestern states. Those are going to kind of dissipate into the afternoon hours, and then we should have a second round that pops up here in the Wisconsin, Michigan area right about here, pushing their way southward across Wisconsin and Michigan. So that's where our quarter to $half sized hail risk comes from in this area, as well as gusty winds. And finally, last but not least, this is my favorite part personally, is Hurricane Laura. So it's looking pretty good right now, guys, and it's going to continue moving over those nice warm Gulf waters, strengthening, intensifying. So if you are a builder or a roofer in the Texas and Louisiana area, that's some good news for you guys. If you are a homeowner in that area, you may want to check your news, follow up on that, prepare, be prepared, not scared. This is going to move into the Gulf area through Texas and Louisiana, expected to make landfall close to Houston, right along that Texas and Louisiana border, as it does potentially becoming a major hurricane as it pushes its way into making landfall. So we're likely going to see damaging winds, flash flooding from the inland areas, as well as storm surge along the coastal areas as Laura makes her way northeast, hitting landfall on Thursday morning. So in the overnight hours from Wednesday into Thursday, we will start to see the impacts of Laura full swing from the Texas to Louisiana border states. And then it's going to continue making its way northward through Louisiana and Arkansas, so still a chance for flash flooding and gusty winds in those areas as Laura begins to weaken over land, becoming a tropical depression over Arkansas, and then recurving and pushing to the east as it does. So once again, we are at a risk for quite a few weather impacts in the Houston and the Louisiana area. Let's take a look here at its track forecast. So we've actually got pretty good model agreements. We do have one model pushing it a little bit further east and one pushing it a little bit farther west. But overall, we do have pretty good model agreement that Laura is going to continue moving northwest through the Gulf states into Louisiana and Texas. Again, on Thursday morning, early in the morning, we're going to expect to see Laura possibly becoming a major hurricane as it impacts Houston and Louisiana. And then finally, let's take a look at that wind speed probability. So this is the hurricane force wind speed probabilities. So we will likely see damaging winds through much of this region, but will they be hurricane force? So we have a really good chance, 80 to 90% chance of hurricane force winds as it just skirts Texas and Louisiana. Obviously, as it begins to move over land, it's going to start to weaken a little bit, and that's what you get here. However, if it can sustain itself off those nice warm Gulf waters and low shear environment, as that pushes on shore, we could see some very damaging winds. So do you think southern Ohio will get hurricane winds and hail? Probably not hurricane in southern Ohio. Maybe southern Louisiana we could get some hurricane force winds, but Ohio is in the hail risk for today. However, again, as this moves into Texas and Louisiana, we will see hurricane force winds, very likely, storm surge as that moves on land, as well as damaging winds and flash flooding on the inland areas. So again, if you're in Houston or Louisiana, stay tuned to that, and stay tuned to our live videos because we actually have Derek, John, Allie, and Steve making their way down into Texas and Louisiana right now to intercept Hurricane Laura. So you'll be able to see firsthand the impacts of that as it moves onshore. Again, potentially as a major hurricane. So stay tuned to our Facebook page if you would like to see that. And also, if you would like to see our future videos, as well as tomorrow's update on Hurricane Laura, you can follow us on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Hit see first on Facebook if you don't want to miss any more of our live videos, as well as John, Derek, Steve, and Allie intercepting that hurricane on Thursday morning. And finally, if you have any questions, feel free to contact us. Our phone number is 855-334-4245. You can also email us at info@hailtrace.com or check out our website, hailtrace.com. We'll have more updates coming for you guys. And for now, I'm meteorologist Andrew Myers. Thanks for watching.